Hello everyone and welcome to the Pokebattler website. My name is Famous from FLWVideos, and in today's episode we're going to be talking about the top 10 counters versus Reshiram. This will include some Shadow Pokemon, some Legendary Pokemon, and then finally some non-Legendary Pokemon, so a lot of people should be able to compete when they go up against this raid boss. We're actually going to briefly walk through some of the Shadow options that are currently taking on the #1 spot. The first one being a Shadow Salamence, so maybe you're lucky enough to have one of those. Not exactly the most common thing in the world, but of course going with Dragon Tail and Outrage, so definitely going to be an expensive Pokemon just due to the fact that it is Shadow, but it's definitely worth mentioning since it does have technically the highest performance. Up next is Shadow Dragonite, so just kind of a similar situation here where it's going to be a little bit on the rare side, but if you have it, you definitely want to go with it. These Shadow Pokemon can just output so much damage, which is why they are kind of rising to the top. And then, of course, we've got some different movesets, but we don't have a big drop-off in the performance. So moving on to the third position, we've got the third and final Shadow Pokemon, and they are all risen to the top. We've got a Shadow Tyranitar with Smackdown, so you can TM over to this just because you're not dealing with frustration or anything like that as a charge move, but definitely going to have a huge drop off in the performance as far as the moveset is concerned. But if you check this out, I mean, these numbers are looking good despite the fact of it being Shadow type Pokemon. It still holds its own. So if you have any of those three, by all means go for it. But let's get into the regular type Pokemon, legendary slash the non-legendary. So we've got Rampardos. So Rampardos is a monster of a Pokemon. You actually want to hit it with Smackdown and Rock Slide. So we're attacking the fire side of Reshiram as opposed to the dragon side. And there's going to be an interesting moveset here where you can go with Smackdown and Outrage. It's going to be a little bit of a drop in performance, but I would say that that's still going to end up being good overall. We see a 4-star in damage, 1-star in bulk, and then a 3-star in the consistency. And as far as its rankings at level 40 are concerned, it has an overall ranking of 14th. Really what it comes down to is Rampardos is very much a glass cannon, even going up against a Pokemon like this. But hey, it's going to output a lot of damage. So as far as the defenses are concerned, we don't have any weaknesses that we have to worry about. So anything that can help out Rampardos with staying in longer is going to be very beneficial to a lot of people. Now, as far as the players needed, you could technically be able to pull this off with 2 people, but it's going to be extremely difficult. And as you can see, when you head down to some of the other numbers, I would say 3 is a little bit more comfortable. Definitely 4, definitely 5, just to be completely safe unless you are trying to do some low man raids. Up next, we've got Rayquaza. So Rayquaza, you want to go with Dragon Tail and Outrage. You're going to get a huge drop off in the performance, so it has to be that double Dragon type moveset. We've got a 4-star in the damage, so looking good there. A 2-star on the bulk, and then a 1-star on the consistency. So technically it's going to be moveset dependent. If Reshiram comes at you with some dragon type moves, Rayquaza, it's just going to be so difficult to just stay in there because it is a little bit on the glassier side. Overall rank of 10th though at level 40. And then finally, like I said before, it's definitely going to be kind of like the potions that are the main concern, just due to the fact that it is most likely a glass cannon in this case. So like we said before, we're going to actually be dealing with quite a bit of moves here where you're going to have to really watch out for Draco Meteor. Really watch out for Stone Edge. You've got some resistance with Overheat, and then you've got neutral with Crunch. So basically just avoiding anything that is its weakness is its best bet, and then Rayquaza can of course shine afterwards. In at the 6th position is Rhyperior. So Rhyperior is going to be amazing because of that Mud Slap and then finally Rock Wrecker. Mostly, once again, just attacking that fire typing, so that's going to be very helpful. And if you have yourself a Smackdown Rock Wrecker, that's also going to do great as well. So it just kind of depends. I've got one ready for PvP, so I would rather go with the Mud Slap. That way I don't have to TM or anything like that. We got a 4-star on the damage, we got a 5-star on the bulk, and then a 4-star on the consistency. So Rhyperior is actually looking very good. And if you check out the rankings overall, level 40, looking solid. I would say that Rhyperior is the choice that is most available, most common, makes the most sense. You're not going to get a glass cannon out of it at all. And then as far as the defenses are concerned, some neutral situations, and then of course some resistances. It's a little slower, right? But that's okay. I think that this is going to be the option that a lot of people will hopefully have had access to because we had a community day fairly recently. And in the 7th position, we have Haxorus. So Haxorus a little bit on the rare side, but it's going to get some good performance out of this. Dragon Tail, Dragon Claw, and then as far as the other moves are concerned, a little bit of a drop off, but Earthquake can still do something with it. We got a 4-star on the damage, 2-star on the bulk, and then a 1-star on the consistency. So you're really seeing that due to the fact that Reshiram has some of those Dragon type moves. And as far as its overall ranking is concerned, at level 40, we're seeing a position of 12. So it's once again going to be a little bit of a glass cannon. So just kind of keep that in mind. Look out for Draco Meteor. That's going to be one that you definitely want to avoid. Any other moveset should be good to go. In at the number 8 position, we've got Dialga. So Dialga, very common on the PvP side. You want to go with Dragon Breath and Draco Meteor. So that's nice. If you've got one ready for PvP, you're not going to have to invest in another one or anything like that. Do not consider another moveset. And we've got a 4-star on the damage, 4-star on the bulk, and a 3-star on the consistency. So definitely looking good there. Overall ranking of 6 at level 40. No red flags whatsoever. The only thing that you technically are going to have to work out is none. You don't have to worry about them. You've got neutral with the Draco Meteor just because of the part Steel type as well. So Dialga looking good. Going to be one of the top legendary Pokemon to kind of choose from in this situation. In at the number 9 position, we've got just regular Salamence with Dragon Tail and Outrage. You could add on Draco Meteor on top of that if you wanted to, or if you just have Draco Meteor, the performance is still looking good. Since we already talked about Salamence a little bit, we're just going to kind of skip through this. It's going to be very typical of a lot of the Dragon-type Pokemon that we've seen. It's going to have an issue dealing with the Dragon-type moves, but other than that, should be fairly good. So Draco Meteor, watch out for that. Stone Edge, just like Rayquaza, pretty much. Overheat Crunch, looking good on that one for sure. So anyways, we're going to get into the 10th and final position. We've got another somewhat rare Pokemon, and that is Garchomp. So with Garchomp, you want to go with Dragon Tail and Outrage. You're looking good if you've got Mud Shot as well as Dragon Tail. So if there's something related to PvP, you haven't switched movesets over, it could still end up being good for you. 4-star. 3-star on the bulk, and then a 2-star on the consistency. Once again, just because of those Dragon-type moves. We're seeing a little bit lower numbers, but overall, fairly consistent. It's not going to be as much of a glass cannon as some that we've talked about. Watch out for Draco Meteor. But in that case, you would definitely want to go with something like a Rhyperior. So if you don't have any of these Pokemon or you're looking for additional options, make sure to head over to the Pokebattler simulation for Reshiram and try out some on your own.